So, one thing I really hate about the Aventador, and I think anybody who owns this will say the same thing, is it just drinks fuel. Now, I know I've said this in the review video before, but I say it every time. It is the worst car I have ever owned for fuel economy. It doesn't tell you about miles per gallon or whatever, any stats like that. It doesn't tell you how well you're doing. It doesn't even tell you how many miles you've got left, because to be honest, at any moment it can just lose fuel. I swear there must be a leak or something in my car, because all I do is spend time at the petrol station. In fact, I'm headed there now. I'm basically on zero. So yeah, it's just something that you have to deal with. I understand that supercars use a lot of fuel, trust me. 488, 458, they use a lot of fuel. But this, I'm just trying to get across how on a different level this is, on how much fuel it actually uses. It's roughly about 75 to 80 pounds to fill up a full tank, so about $100. And that can last you maybe, depending on how you're driving obviously, I like to keep it in a nice kind of sporty eco mode or whatever, but even if you're driving it normally, that's not going to last you more than about 250 miles to be fair, and most of the time it's even less than that, maybe 200 miles. So yeah, to the petrol station.
What are you doing, Anish? We're supposed to be filming. We've got to be doing this kind of stuff. We've got to be making videos. We've got to be on it, and you're just eating.
Yeah, but like taking a break and stuff, right? Just filming stuff is really hard.
I mean, yeah, but it's like time sensitive. Got to do it. YouTube.
Come on then.
YouTube is live.
What are we doing? What was this video? I don't even know what we're doing.
Oh my god.
Alright, let's just get on with it. So we just fueled up. I put a little bit in. I didn't completely fill it up, but nearly all the way. We didn't stop for any food or anything, even though I'm hungry. But yeah, another thing that I hate about this car, and I use the word hate quite strongly on this one, is the ride. I've complained about this many times, and I know you guys will probably say, well, I need to go and buy another car, but honestly the ride on here is just not great at all. It's bumpy, you're solo down to the road, of course you've got these massive wheels on there. I know a supercar is supposed to feel like that, but you'd be surprised how some supercars are actually really comfy, like my 488 in comparison, and even the 720 as well. But this car is seriously uncomfortable. And at the same time as that driving experience of how uncomfortable it is, oh, potential accident, about how uncomfortable it actually is the drive itself. So that's, I would say, is the third thing I guess I hate about the car. I don't think anybody who loves cars or who knows about cars, not that I know much, but anybody who loves cars will say that this is a great drive. The gearbox is a single clutch, we know that. It's just not that great. I'm in automatic at the moment right now, and just even changing through the gears at low revs, it still gives you this kind of like movement every time you change. The steering isn't fantastic, although to be fair to them, they have improved it with the Ego mode, so with the rear wheel drive steer. And leads me on to my fourth thing I hate about it as well, I'm just reading these off, is the visibility. Like, you can't see anything in this car. The windscreen is literally like this. It's at a complete angle. You look out of those wing mirrors and you can hardly see anything. The rear of the car is wider than the front of the car, so driving it is a bit stressful. You look out the rear view there and all you see are these slats, but then when you're going a little bit faster and the rear wing comes up, you just can't see anything behind you at all. So it blocks any car or anything. So, you know, if you want to try and see if there's police behind you and you're driving, you can't see that either. Yeah, it's just not great. And right now, of course, it's raining in lovely British weather, and it's just not pleasant to drive at all. I'd rather be sitting in the S-Class, to be honest, right now. I know this isn't the weather you're supposed to be taking supercars out in, but again, honestly, in comparison, when I took out the 720 in the rain, it was good fun. When I took out the 488 and the 458 in the rain, it was good fun. This, however, you just feel like you just don't want to be in it at this kind of time. I mean, I do like the driving, and I think I should kind of mix up the hate here with a bit of the stuff that I love. But yeah, it's not the best drive. So one thing I love about this car, and I love a lot, is this cockpit. If you see the recent video that I did with the Hurricane, just check up there, you can click there and see it. I talked about the interior of the car and I compared it to the Aventador. Of course they are at different levels, but honestly the Aventador cockpit gives you some different feeling that no other supercar will give you. It's kind of closed in for the driver. You have this massive center console in the middle here. Of course a ton of carbon, because that's how I spec'd it as well. Just the view of everything, like how you're driving, as well as like kind of, I don't know why these people are parking like right in front of us, but you know. The cockpit is just so cool. I don't think there's anything like it. Like having a little flap here to kind of like put the start button on and off. And things work pretty well, surprisingly enough, even for an Italian car. They do actually work pretty well. So I love the display. The display is amazing. We'll show you it, like how, you know, when you put into different race modes, how it switches and how the display looks. But yeah, honestly, Love this thing. So one thing I actually love about this car, even though I know I said I hate it, is the drive. Now that sounds ridiculous, but actually I love the car so much to drive. I told you that it's uncomfortable, I told you all of those things, but nothing else gives you that kind of feeling. So all the stuff that I kind of hate about it kind of makes me love it in terms of the drive itself. It's just so raw. The bumpiness in it is kind of what you want from a supercar. And while it's not ideal when you're driving, this is exactly what you want from this car. How it kind of kicks you in the back on the gear changes, how it's got that punch going through. I cannot describe to you how this feels. Compared to all supercars I've driven, this feeling is just unmatched. You feel like you're driving a supercar as opposed to driving like a kind of done up, perfected, mechanically a perfected Ferrari, so to speak. So, and I'm saying how much I love it, and I'm just seeing some speed bumps in front of me, so I know I'm gonna have to slow down, put the lift up, because this car is super, super low. But yeah, to put it into perspective in really simple terms is, every time I drive this car I'm smiling, and that's what a supercar should be, and that's exactly what this does. Simple as that. So yeah, there's no real space behind here as well. Obviously, we already talked about kind of visibility. You can't see anything out the back here, but there is no space behind these seats to really put anything. And if you do, it's kind of fall everywhere. There's no real netting. I think there might be an option, but again, no real storage space. Over here, nowhere to put your phone at all. Again, this space here, you're gonna need to get some holder, like I said, for your phone. No place to put your keys either. There's a little compartment here. Hey, why is there sausage rolls everywhere in this car? I mean, healthy salads. Yeah, so practicality-wise, it is not great at all. So one thing I love about this car is actually something that I kind of hate. It's a very love-hate relationship, but I actually love the drive. Now, before you guys slate me in the comments, I can't actually describe how this makes you feel when you drive the car. I've said it in Instagram, in like my last posting, I said it on Instagram. Check me out here, by the way, on Instagram, follow me. Yeah, I've said about how amazing this drive is, not because it's the most clinical, not because it's the most powerful, not because of any of those reasons, not because the steering is the best, because it's not, but just because of how it makes you feel. Whenever I'm driving and when it's off camera, I've just got a massive smile on my face. I don't know why when I get on camera I stop smiling, but when I'm driving it, it's just the smiles per miles, as they say. I don't think any other car really gives you that until you get to like maybe hypercar territory, and even then I don't know if you're smiling because you're just worried about hitting it somewhere. But this car is, the punch it gives you is the feeling of what you think a supercar would do. If you ask a kid, what do you think a supercar is like? This is what they would describe, and if they're getting to drive it, I think that's what they would think a drive would be. So yeah, it's a love and hate one on this one, but I genuinely actually love the drive as much as I hate it. So one thing I really love about this car, and nobody can argue against this, is the noise of it. Forget me talking, listen to this. See? How can you not love that noise? So, another thing I love about this car is the design of it. I mean, I don't need to tell you about this. Again, you guys know what the car looks like. I'm not going to take you around it. You know my spec just generally anyway. I don't need to do much to this car. It's probably the least I've done to a car, of any car that I've owned. Normally other cars I do full wraps, I do like all these other stuff as well, maybe add something to it as well, but this, I didn't do anything to it. I don't think it needs a wing because it's got that wing anyway that comes up. I mean, maybe you've got some kits that you can put on it that do look a bit more aggressive. Honestly, I just love it the way it is. The front end and like the road presence as well. Something else I love about this car, when you see it coming, it's like this low kind of thing, and hopefully you see that in the tunnel. It's like somebody stepped on the top of it and squashed it down, and how it approaches is just incredible. But I'll let the car talk for itself. So as I was talking about practicality and we're outside the car, I just thought I'll show you basically how much space there is in here. So check this out. Ta-da! That's it. Barely fits a backpack, maybe a little bit else as well. But to show you how much room it is, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get in. I'm not going to do that. Of course I'm not going to do that. But yeah, it's pretty useless. So another thing about this car that I love is at the back here. I'm going to show you that. That is the V12 engine. It's the only car I've ever owned with V12 engine as well. It's starting to really rain here, so I'm going to try and do this bit really quickly. But I just open that over here and lift this up. You can see there V12 engine with. Hey, why are these sausage rolls everywhere? You're just trying to keep yours warm or something? Jesus, this is a professional YouTube channel. Okay, anyway, so this is the part that I love about the car. I can't actually touch it too much because I've been driving it pretty hard. But yeah, this V12 engine is amazing. No issues with this car at all as well. It's been pretty perfect, and just that punch, that drive, everything. I know it drinks, but compare this to like a Hurricane, which you've seen in my previous video as well. So much better. I love how the water's falling on. You can hear it sizzling with the heat. It's so cool. Yeah, great for cooking eggs. Obviously, like I said, I love the styling in this car. Favorite part of it, I would say for me, is the doors. Like, honestly, doors going up like that. What other car has doors that go up like that? Like, seriously.
I mean, a lot of other cars, like the McLaren.
Yeah, alright, cheers. So one of the last things I hate about this car is something that a lot of people might think you would like about it, but I don't, is the attention. Because this car is just so crazy and it looks so mad about the styling and everything that I love, it gets so much attention. You can't park it up somewhere without somebody coming to take a photo. You can't park it up somewhere without somebody coming and talking to you. And obviously when you're driving around everywhere, that attention is just constantly there. So you can't just go out for a drive and just kind of be with yourself, because anywhere you pull up, somebody wants to have a conversation about something. Now, it's not that I don't like talking to people, it's completely fine. It's just that sometimes that can also attract the wrong attention, and sadly we all know, and I'm sure you guys have seen the videos out there on Instagram and YouTube where people kind of like cycling over Lamborghinis with a bike, and you know, just spinning on them or even sitting on them. One guy pulled his trousers down and sat on them. For some reason this always seems to happen to Lamborghinis. I don't know what it is, but like I said, I'd rather just not have the attention at all. Yes, when you do get a supercar, you do want the attention and everything that comes with it, because that's cool, but this one just gets so much attention. It's the noise, it's everything about it. So that would be, for me, something I don't like about it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I don't know if you disagree with me or agree with me, but please let me know. Probably let me know what is the one thing you love about this car. I want to know, so drop it in the comments below. Remember to like, subscribe, and do all the other bits, and I will see you guys very soon in the next video. Bye.